Yeah, sorry I've been a bit quiet in this, but I have been just had a few weeks of it now between a fractured foot and I got a bacterial infection then last weekend, which just knocked me for six. My God, it was just hell on earth for about 2.5 days. Jesus, it was rotten. I'd love to say I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, but I would. But yeah, it was horrible, and just the two of them combined just kind of knocked me for six. And so last weekend I was housebound up until I went back to work on Wednesday. So that was Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and I only went back because I had to go back. I couldn't really afford to be taking more days off, But yeah, the foot's still not great. Now I went out on Saturday night to watch a gig, but I had the surgical boot on me as well. They gave me a special chair in the venue up in Rathout. But the gig was fantastic, and it's a pal of mine, James Birmingham. He does a George Michael tribute, but he does it with the full live band now, backing singers and the whole lot. And just an amazing sound, excuse the pun, but it really, really is. He has the sound down. There's a few heads knocking around doing it. There's a brilliant fella now in England, Rob Lamberti. Now he is unnatural. But on Irish soil now, James be my choice now, to be honest. A lot of people have different opinions about this, but I just think now he's taking it on the road and he has the big sound there and he's doing it justice. And I sat there the other night and I watched the crowd. As a lead man myself, I watched the crowd and him, if you get me drift. I didn't just watch him. I watched the reaction. I watched how he dealt with the crowd, and he was just a total pro. They all loved him, and even there was one hiccup through the show, and he just he treated it like a true pro. And there was no drama, there was no nothing, and it was good. So great sound, really enjoyed it, but my first little rant-a-rooney today would be to concern about, how can I say? I witnessed this at Michael Bublé 2 years ago, and now it was in the Bright. I went to see him, and I think that's probably one of the first times I've gone to see him in the Bright. It was during the summer, and it was this kind of comeback show that after he'd been off now after the young fella having cancer or leukemia, was it cancer? It was cancer, liver cancer, and I remember at one stage of the show that he was doing a song called Where or When by it's a Sinatra song as far as I remember, but it's a slow song and it's off the new album. Now I love the song, it's absolutely beautiful, but what really got me was people running out to the bar or whatever, and it was just fucking droves of people, and I just kind of went, I find that the height of ignorance, to be quite honest with you, that someone cannot wait just 5 more minutes to either go for a pee or, well, maybe a pee can't do them, but to get a drink. And I found at one point in the show, it was literally just before the first half, all of a sudden, people were going out, and you have to pass James, and he's singing with the band, and I just found it the fucking height of ignorance. You know what I mean? Obviously, look, thankfully, my theatre shows I haven't witnessed that yet, because I don't know. I guess people just, I don't know. Maybe just it's a different kind of fish sometimes. But if it was me, I could be bursting to go to loo. I would just hold that 3 minutes until the singer finished and kind of announced the interval and this, that, and the other. But they were literally walking out, and then at the start of the second half of the gig, a very well-known pal of mine was in the front row. Now, this girl is as nice as pie, so she would never kind of, how would I say, dismiss someone. Do you know what I mean? She is an absolute gem, but she's well known in a certain circle now. I'm not going to give out her name or anything like that, but she's well known in what she does, and she's very well known in her field. And this one just started having a chat with her, literally standing up whilst the band was singing, right? Whilst the fucking band, or the James was singing, the band were playing away. This one is standing up talking to my pal in the front row, and of course my pal had to stand up as well. Now I wasn't on their row, but I just found it the fucking height of ignorance. Then she goes down onto her bunkers thinking that that's less. It's not. You're still fucking chatting away through a gig. You know what I mean? And you might notice it if it's a slow or if it's a fast song because people will be up dancing. But obviously George Michael has, you know, his slow songs are as equally as fucking important as his big fast songs. Do you know what I mean? Oh, I just found it the height of ignorance. I was looking over and I was fucking cringing, kind of going, would you sit the fuck down? I'm sure what you're talking about now can wait until the end of the gig. Do you know what I mean? Oh, the height of ignorance. But what was I going to say to you? Yeah, another thing I witnessed last week. What are we at, Grant? Another thing I witnessed last week was I'd never witnessed it actually affecting someone in that position. But was it last week? I'm trying to work it out now because I wouldn't have been moving around that much. But I'd say it was. We'll say it was last Friday after work, and I think I had to go to get painkillers or something. No, do you know what it was? I'll tell a lie. It was after I had that bacterial infection, and I was after been speaking to a nutritionist friend of mine and a dietitian, and she kind of gave me what to be eating coming out of that infection, so it wasn't kind of just, you know what I mean, going back to normally. Well, it might diet be fairly good anyway, but there's certain things you kind of have to eat maybe a little bit blander just for a kind of few days so you don't kind of shock the system again. And what was I going to say? So next of all, yeah, I went up to Super Value and I went up and I got a salmon and mash or whatever else I had to get. But on my way in, I was sitting in the car on my phone for a second before I got there, but on my way in I kind of copped something, and basically what it was it was sorry, just fella letting me in there. But basically what it was, I noticed a girl in a white Jeep sitting there, and I had to look twice because I wasn't sure the spot she was in, but she was in the, I'm going to call it the disabled spot. I don't want to say handicap because I don't know what the PC term is, guys, but I'm just going to say the disabled spot. And she sat there. She obviously had the engine on, so obviously one of the kids had run in to get something, right? Now, a guy I know that walks with a walking aid, right? I'm not sure what the source of the, look, I'm going to call it a disability because he's not fully disabled, but you know, he can walk. But he walks, he has to walk with an aid because that's the only way he can do it. So anyway, a gentleman as well, I know him quite well, just to say hello to and kind of, you know, chew the fat with, I suppose. And he came in, he's able to drive and stuff like that, and he came in and he whatchamacallit, he had to park in the parent-child parking. Now, he's not a father, doesn't have children, and this one is sitting there in the disabled spot, and let alone is she just not in one spot, but she's actually parked kind of diagonally, so the front left wheel of the car is actually jutting into the next space. And I'm just looking going, you're fucking kidding me here. So next of all, she's still sitting in the car. I get out of the car and I make sure I walk slowly. So the other guy that I know has basically come in and he's gone into when he sees that obviously the disabled spot, now he's a permit on his car, when he sees the disabled spots are not free, he goes into the parent-child. Now, anybody like Stevie fucking Wonder would see the guy as disabled. Do you know what I mean? And basically, he, you know, he has his own, what's the word I'm looking for? His own process for getting out of the car, getting his aid out of the back, you know, putting it up and walking. He obviously has his own system. But like, it obviously takes, you know, the guts of maybe 2 minutes for him to do it. And your woman is sitting there, like, bold as brand. Now, I did. She definitely had a glance over. So I made sure to walk over as slowly as I could. And I literally, talk about fucking looking into your woman's soul. I literally stared right into her face. And I just shook my head as if to say, you fucking idiot. Obviously the peroxide she had in her hair had burnt all her fucking brains out, because she's sitting there and the lazy fuck has sent one of her kids in. And I looked on the car, because I basically looked and I pretended to go into Stack's, and I had a look at the back of the car, Stack's Pharmacy, sorry. I had a look at the back of the car. There's no permit on the car, there's no permit on the front. I didn't see any shape or form of wheelchair or anything in the back of the car, you know, for her. And it just looked that basically she'd sent one of the kids in to get fucking tea bags or something like that. But it was just mad to watch it, because I looked over at him, I looked at her, and I shook my head at her to just go, you fucking, well, I won't say what I called her, but it rhymes with teabag. And I just looked over and I went, do you know what? You never even, like, if that was me, well, it wouldn't be me anyway, because I wouldn't park in one of them spots, but if it was me, I would have went, oh Jesus, sorry, oh, my apologies, I'll pull out here. Like, I wouldn't mind. There was tons of parking spaces. Like, where I parked over, say, towards the wall, like, beside me, there was about 8 parking spaces. But these fuckers are just so fucking lazy that they just don't bother their arse. They just park in here, I should be grand here, there's nobody coming in. And then obviously a guy did come in that wanted the use of that spot, and you were sitting in it for Delman. So there you go. I hope you're fucking proud of yourself.